Tonight, we confront a crisis so vast it defies comprehension. 47,313 children have vanished from India's streets, homes and communities, yet there is no dedicated national agency to find them. There's no real-time tracking system and no comprehensive database connecting the dots between disappearances and trafficking networks. Picture this. According to the National Crime Records Bureau, every 8 minutes, a child goes missing in India. That's 180 children per day. Over 71% are minor girls, making them prime targets for traffickers. The Supreme Court has called the situation grim, noting that one child missing from a state may be taken to another state, so a coordinated effort is needed. But here's what makes this truly terrifying. While 47,313 children remain missing, NCRB data shows only 424 cases of child trafficking were registered nationwide in 2022. Statistical impossibility that reveals either massive underreporting or systemic blindness to organized crime. Tonight, we expose India's missing children crisis, a trafficking network operating with near impunity across state borders, exploiting gaps in law enforcement and leaving families devastated while authorities fail to connect the dots. According to the latest NCRB data for 2022, 83,350 children were reported missing in that year alone. To comprehend this scale, if these missing children formed a city, it would be larger than many district headquarters. If they filled a school, it would be one of India's largest educational institutions, yet they have vanished without coordinated national response. The data reveals a disturbing trend. Missing child cases have risen consistently over 5 years. There was a 7.5% spike in 2022 compared to 2021, a 30.8% surge in 2021 against 2020, and an 8.9% increase in 2019 against 2018. This is a random fluctuation at S, a systemic crisis accelerating each year. The gender disparity, why girls are targeted. The gender breakdown is stark and alarming. 71.4% of missing children are minor girls. In 2022, of the 83,350 missing children, 62,946 were female. In 2021, out of 76,069 reported kidnapped children, 62,099 were girls. This isn't coincidence, it's organized crime targeting girls for specific purposes. Former Delhi Police Commissioner S.N. Shrivastava explained, these children could end up on the streets and get influenced by criminals and become part of their nexus. In other instances, they are also sold off, forced into prostitution, and other illicit activities. Rishi Kant, a social activist working with Shakti Vahini, combating child trafficking, noted, these minor girls are often trafficked into prostitution, and then there is a new racket of massage parlors. The data confirms this. 76,069 children were reported kidnapped in 2022, but only 424 cases of child trafficking were registered. This massive discrepancy suggests either law enforcement is blind to trafficking networks, or cases are being misclassified as simple kidnapping rather than organized crime. The trafficking network nobody's tracking. The Supreme Court of India acting on a appeal filed by victims. Families has explicitly stated that one child missing from a state may be taken to another state, so a coordinated effort is needed. This acknowledgement reveals a fundamental truth. India lacks a unified tracking system for missing children that can identify patterns across state borders. Unlike the United States National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, or the UK's Missing Persons Unit, India has no dedicated national agency. The National Crime Records Bureau (NCRB) compiles annual reports, but doesn't maintain real-time databases or provide immediate coordination between states, the Supreme Court noted. It is only after the intervention of this court that the child was traced and found on the 20th of March 2025, from the custody of accused Anil Prasad Baranwal, R.O. Krishna Nagar, Kolkata, West Bengal. This statement reveals that without judicial intervention, victims remain trapped in trafficking networks for years. In one documented case, a child stolen from Varanasi was found in Kolkata, sold through an organized network involving multiple states. The traffickers told investigators, "We steal small children and sell them in Rajasthan." Bihar Jharkhand, 2 childless couples with the help of our agents for 2 lakhs, 2 10 lakhs, and the amount received is equally distributed among us. In September 2025, the Supreme Court took suo moto notice of the crisis, calling it grim. The court directed the Union Home Ministry to create a dedicated online portal for tracing missing children. The court stated, "An alert must be displayed on the website every time a child goes missing, and that a central portal should be established for supervision and control to facilitate the tracing of missing children." The court also asked states to collect district-wise and year-wise data on missing children since 2020, when the Crime Multi-Agency Center CREMAC was launched. The data sought includes registered cases, recoveries made within the stipulated 4-month period pending prosecutions, functioning of anti-human trafficking units, AHTUs, and measures proposed in cases of delay or non-recovery. However, the court expressed frustration that many states hadn't complied with previous directives. The Ministry of Home Affairs admitted that while advisories were issued to all states in 2013 addressing prevention, protection, and prosecution, implementation remained inconsistent. The first 24 hours, critical gap. Experts agree that the first 24 hours after a child goes missing are critical, Rishikant explained. It is important to understand that it is the first 24 hours that can help trace a missing child. After 24 hours, the chances of finding the child in a healthy mental and physical state are bleak. Yet police investigations often don't begin immediately. According to Global March's research, many police stations delay registering FIRs, treating initial reports as missing person cases rather than potential kidnappings or trafficking. This delay gives traffickers crucial time to move victims across state lines. The NCRB itself admits that specific information on these missing children whose relatives have not been traced is not maintained. This data gap means patterns like a sudden spike in disappearances from a particular region go unnoticed. The Supreme Court's case documents reveal horrifying details about trafficking networks. In one case, a gang led by Sunita Devi, Gudiya Devi, Mahesh Rana, Sanjita Devi, and Anurada Devi was arrested for stealing children and selling them through agents to childless couples for 2 lakh to 10 lakh each. The network operated across Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal, Rajasthan, and Jharkhand. Children were stolen from public places, under bridges, near railway stations, from market areas, and transported across state lines. Another case involved a woman named Pinky, whose son was stolen from Varanasi and sold in Kolkata. The child was only recovered after Supreme Court intervention. The traffickers confessed, "I have purchased many children through Maiden Baranwal, Manish Jean, Jagveer, Baranwal, Ghanshyam, and Gudiya, and sold ahead." These aren't isolated incidents, they're organized, interstate criminal enterprises. Yet the NCRB recorded only 424 child trafficking cases in 2022, compared to 47,313 untraced missing children. This discrepancy is mathematically impossible unless trafficking is massively underreported or misclassified. The top states where children disappear. The NCRB data reveals which states are most affected. West Bengal reported the highest number of missing children in 2022, 12,455, 1,884 boys, 1,571 girls. Yet it also reported finding 12,546 children, suggesting high turnover, but also high trafficking. West Bengal still has 6,994 children, untraced, the highest in India. Madhya Pradesh followed with 11,352 missing children, 2,286 boys, 9,066 girls. In 2021, it reported 11,607 missing children. Madhya Pradesh has 3,926 children untraced. Bihar reported 6,781 missing children. And Delhi reported 6,040. These figures are cumulative, including children missing from previous years. The overwhelming majority of missing girls become victims of gender-based violence. Kailash Satyarthi Children's Foundation notes, every 8 minutes a child goes missing in India. Millions of missing children may have been trafficked, who end up in forced labor, slavery, and sex work. The NCRB's own data shows 78.7% of unrecovered kidnapping victims are minor girls. Yet only 11 girls were recorded as sold for prostitution nationwide in 2022. Statistical impossibility that reveals massive underreporting. The crisis persists due to multiple systemic failures. No dedicated agency. Unlike other countries, India has no national agency focused solely on missing children. The NCRB compiles data but doesn't investigate. Poor data sharing. The Supreme Court noted that one child missing from a state may be taken to another state, but there's no real-time interstate coordination. Delayed investigations. Police often delay registering FIRs, losing the critical first 24 hours. Misclassification. Trafficking cases are often registered as simple kidnapping, obscuring organized crime patterns. Lack of resources. Anti-human trafficking units (AHTUs) exist in theory, but lack proper funding, training, and powers. The Supreme Court's mandate. In June 2025, the Supreme Court issued comprehensive guidelines to states and high courts. The court mandated mandatory registration of first within 4 hours of a missing child report, district-level AHTS with proper funding and powers. Real-time data sharing through a central portal, monthly reviews by high courts of pending cases. Victim compensation schemes. The court stated, the child was only recovered after the intervention of this court. There is a need for a well-organized interstate network. The ultimate question, the missing 47,313 children represent not just statistics, but individual lives each. A child who could be your neighbor, your classmate, your family member. They could be forced into prostitution, child labor, begging, or sold to childless couples. The fact that only 424 trafficking cases were registered in 2022, while 47,313 children remain missing, suggests either catastrophic investigative failure or a trafficking network so sophisticated it remains invisible to law enforcement. What do you think? Should India establish a dedicated national agency for missing children, similar to the FBI's Child Exploitation Unit? Should DNA databases be expanded to identify trafficked children? How can social media platforms help trace missing children? And most importantly, how many of these 47,313 children are still alive, trapped in trafficking networks waiting for rescue? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If this exploration of India's missing children crisis disturbed you, hit like, subscribe to Silent Conspiracy, and ring the bell. Next time, we'll investigate another case where systemic failure allows criminals to operate with impunity. Till then, stay vigilant. And remember that behind every missing child statistic is a human tragedy that demands our attention.